ಬಂದಿದೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಹಿರಿಯರ ವಾಣಿ, ಹಿರಿಯರೇ ಇತರ ರಾಜ ರಾಣಿ, ಹತ್ತೋಣ ನಾವು ಅವರ ನೆನಪಿನ ದೋಣಿ, ಕೇಳುತ್ತಾ ಖುಷಿ ಪಡೋಣ ಹಿರಿಯರ ವಾಣಿ, ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಖುಷಿ ಪಡೋಣ ಹಿರಿಯರ ವಾಣಿ, ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಖುಷಿ ಪಡೋಣ ಹಿರಿಯರ ವಾಣಿ. ಇದು ಹಿರಿಯರ ಕತೆ ಹಿರಿಯರ ಜೊತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಿರಿಯರ ವಾಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಇರಿ, ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿರಿ.
Hello listeners, this is your RJ Lalitha Rao and I welcome you all to Anubhav, a joint project of National Institute of Social Defense, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India and Media for Community Foundation, implemented by Nightingale Medical Trust. Project conceived by Dr. R. Sridhar, Project Investigator Alok Verma, Coordinators Pooja Murada, Sai Sudha and Kaushalya. Government of India has initiated Elder Line Toll Free number 14567. Elders or anyone on behalf of elders can call between morning 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for any questions, queries and support to elderly. There are a lot of questions which arise in one's mind which have no answers. For instance, there is a belief that people who die an unnatural death roam around as dissatisfied souls called as ghosts or gali or avi. Is it true? Do they exist? It is a question. Here is my story, Interlude with a Ghost. Can you decide for yourselves? Interlude with a Ghost. I was always enamored with writing and something about exciting that too. I decided to go in for journalism. I passed journalism with good grades and was wondering where to start. I thought working for a newspaper was a good exposure and experience. So I joined the Daily Times. I was first assigned to interview political leaders, giving a write-up about them. I went ahead with excitement, meeting some of them. I realized it was not easy at all. They were typical Indians with the famous Indian Standard Times. Always late by hours to appear. When they spoke, it was not in good style. Mostly it was only mud throwing on the opponents. Their promising statements with high assurance was never materialized once the election was over. It was a vote securing trick after all. Everything seemed like a farce. I did not enjoy it. Next, I chose to interview some famous sign artists and celebrities. The agents were orchestrating them. Their talk was egoistic, patting their backs and with a lot of pomp. It was disgusting. This was when I decided to be a freelance reporter. While gathering information in a murder case, I was beaten up very badly by the miscreants and was really jolted. At that time, my 3 friends had decided to travel up north via the coastal region towards Bhubaneswar. I was so tired and upset and needed some relaxation. So I joined them. It was an enjoyable trip. We reached Gopalpur at 1 noon. It was scorching hot. The white, foamy, frothy seawater was a welcome sight. We were tempted to jump into the water, but We had our luggage with us. So, there was a hotel just across the seashore, and we decided to dump our luggage, make arrangements for lunch, and return to the water. We went in. We saw only one man who was shabby and with a long beard, an old woman, and a young girl. We inquired if he could get accommodation and whether lunch would be served in an hour's time. The man nodded. So we rushed to the water, dumping our luggage, and had fun splashing around with the water, and we returned. Then we found there was no sign of food. We were all so famished and hungry. We searched for the man, and when we found, asked him about lunch. He said it was out of season and no help. So he showed us some onions, a bag of rice, and a few things kept on the table. When we tried to open the fridge, it looked like it was not used for months, and the ice was caked and caked. Caked. Everything was frozen. Anyway, we cut the onions, boiled some rice, and managed to have some lunch, leaving the rest for the inhabitants of the hotel. We decided to leave immediately. As we were driving away, I turned back. I could see no one in the house. The house looked deserted and forsaken. I kept wondering, was it a haunted house? Were the three inmates there ghosts? I kept wondering. It tickled me, and my curiosity was aroused. The idea of meeting a ghost and interviewing was an idea that stuck me. No one has tried this before. Why not? When I returned from the trip, I went about trying to gather about it. I came to know that near our village, away from the center, there was a big mansion on top of a hill, which was supposed to be haunted. No one dared to go there. I thought it was the best opportunity for me, and I decided to explore it. That night, it was a new moon day. I decided to investigate. I took my hand torch and walked towards the mansion. It was pitch dark everywhere. Everything was quiet except for an occasional hooting of an owl. When I reached the front door, it was closed. I knocked. Knock, knock, knock. There was no response. Second time, the door creaked open. With such a sound, I jumped up with fear. Slowly, I took a step forward. Someone seemed to hold me. I could not move. I tugged, but with no effect. With fear, my heart came to my mouth. After all, has the ghost caught me so soon? Oh my God! Mustering courage, I turned round slowly to find to my relief, my veil was caught by a nail in the door. I somehow got it entangled and looked around. The big hall was covered with cobwebs. The majestic furniture were covered with white cloth. Everything smelled old and musty. There was a flight of steps going up. I gingerly took a step towards the stairs. What a sound! Just then, a cat meow and ran past me. My heart almost missed a beat. I summoned courage to reach the top. On the landing, I saw a white flowing figure. It gave an eerie laugh. The hair was long, covering the face fully, and there was no flesh. Teeth were white and protruding. There were long nails without a hand. No legs. I realized I was face to face with a ghost. Gathering all my wits, I asked, "Who are you?" "Ha ha ha! I am Malini the ghost. I am the owner of this mansion. By the way, who are you? Why are you here? Are you not scared?" Now, I was more curious than frightened. I said, "I have come to interview you. How come you have this long flowing gown?" "Ha! I have no flesh. I was burnt. So this flowing white sheet is my only dress." "Why is it white?" I asked. "Naturally, I'm nocturnal and only white shows off at night." "Why have you no legs?" I asked. "It was burned. I don't need it. I float freely in air. I am hence called Gali in Kannada or Avi in Tamil. I disappear easily." "Why do you have such long nails and teeth?" "To frighten people who come to trouble me." "How and what do you eat?" "Well, I have no stomach, so I don't eat." "Why do you stay all alone here?" "Ha ha ha! Who will give me company? I frighten others. I'm not frightened." "How did you come to be like this? Who burnt you? What is your story?" "Okay, you want to hear my story? I will tell you my story. Will you write it so that people will come to know how greed for money can make someone so inhuman?" "Yes," I said. "Well, my name is Malini. I was the only child of my rich parents who owned this mansion. We lived happily and I had everything I wanted. My uncle was greedy. He planned such that my parents were killed in an accident. He pretended to be my caretaker, taking all my responsibility. I was beautiful, rich, with lot of property, money and jewels. So many young suitors asking my hand in marriage came forward. I was not sure if they were after my money. My uncle, who wanted to lay his hand on my wealth, spurned them down all. One day, he poisoned me and burnt me. Just like these days, nothing is pure. The kerosene used also to burn was adulterated, so I was not burnt fully. He then got rid of my body. I became a ghost, as you see. But I played my uncle and haunted him so much, he died of a heart attack. Now As a ghost, I roam around this house all alone. I felt sad for the ghost. I came back with a story which I decided to write and send it to a magazine. I kept wondering, people talk about ghosts, souls roaming, especially people who die of unnatural death. My grandmother said she had seen one also. Is it true? Do ghosts really exist? Or is it my imagination going wild? I had a big question mark in my head in front of me. Do you have one too?
Thank you so much for your interesting and unique program. Listeners, I hope you too enjoyed the program. Stay tuned to Hiravani for more such interesting program. Government of India has initiated Elder Line toll-free number 14567. Elders or anyone on behalf of elders can call between morning 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for any questions, queries and support to elderly. Bye for now. Take care.